It's so fucking stupid. I don't know this part of it. Okay, we're back to the main track. Shout to George Lucas, fuck. This is so fucking stupid, but you're gonna love it, aren't you? Isn't this the part where the scroll is supposed to end? Fuck, why are we still going? Now we're like trying to find the planet in the fucking movie. What the fuck? Wait, we're not done with this yet? Shit. Okay, we're done. Yo, how is everybody feeling over on the YouTube channel? It is your boy GZTV continuing on with this comedy trek, but we are here with our next movie, which is actually going to be Spaceballs, another kind of spoofy film. Again, like I have said in these previous reviews, we're covering all sorts of different avenues, all sorts of different time periods of comedy. We're getting into a 1987 film. We've already covered a couple of films from the 80s. Alright, so I just watched this, and I'm not going to lie, the more I think about it, the more I absolutely love this movie. I really like this movie. Yeah, it's dumb, it's absolutely outdated. This is exactly the kind of satire I can get behind. You get a film from Mel Brooks. I do think he actually directed it, worked on all of it. Obviously, Rick Moranis, been a part of a lot of big time films, especially from my childhood. Look at the Ghostbuster films, look at Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. That is such a nostalgic movie. I was typing up the review, kind of looking at movies he's been in, and holy shit, that brought up a lot of memories of VHSs and shit. John Candy, obviously being a part of so many films, one of the best comedians of the 80s and early 90s up until he passed away. Rest in peace to John Candy, though. This is another one of his really fun roles. I'm sure we're going to get into a couple more of those as we get through the list, but let's get into everything. So getting into the premise, I mean, this movie is basically a parody of sci-fi movies. It basically takes the concept, the story arcs, the ideas, the aesthetics of a bunch of different kind of sci-fi franchises, and huge ones, because at the time that was kind of the whole fad. That was the whole thing, these sci-fi franchises making a bunch of movies. You have the Star Wars influence, you have the Star Trek influence. It very much is Star Wars, but there's a lot of Star Trek flavor, there's a lot of alien flavor. It even reminds you of Mario at times for some reason. The story is obviously really simple, not really the point. This section of the video really isn't the point. Evil villains want to steal air, which is fucking insane. It sounds absolutely retarded. The princess gets kidnapped, the heroes go save her. It's basically save the princess with a bunch of nonsense in between, and honestly the plot doesn't matter. They're trying to suck in her Mercedes. She's getting away from this wedding because she doesn't want to marry this prince. He's the only prince in the galaxy or whatever. Doesn't want to marry him. He's not in love with him. She tries to get away. They pull her in with this magnet, and I can't remember his name. Lone Star and Bartholomew try to save her, and they kind of run away throughout the movie. So that's kind of it. So getting into the good, I think this is satire done to absolute perfection. Satire done to a T, if you will. This is where the movie shines. This is the best part of the movie, is the satire, all the references, all the stuff they're kind of making fun of with this thing. Even if you're not a huge fan of those franchises, namely Star Trek, Star Wars, Alien, and I will say I watched all of the original Star Wars episodes and a couple of the new Disney Plus stuff, and with Star Trek, never watched any of those. Watched a couple of Alien movies. You don't have to be a nerdy fan to get it. There's a lot of very generalized pop culture references. Beam Me Up, Scotty, all of the character designs from Star Wars. I do think Chewbacca is supposed to be Barf, basically, but the references still hit. Dark helmet, breathing, and basically being Darth Vader, having the same sort of mannerisms, having to take the the mask off when he wants to talk normally, putting the mask on, doesn't even have like the voice changer thing, he just talks in like a different impression. It's so fucking funny. Rick Moranis is hilarious. The Schwartz instead of the Force, I don't really know what that's supposed to mean. I don't really know where that reference is coming from. Maybe they're like mixing that with something from Star Trek. I don't know. There's like the teleportation joke, beam me down, Snotty, and he does it, and like the fucking beam's like literally in the next room, so he like literally teleports next door. Fuck it, I'll just walk then. I mean, it's fucking awesome, dude. Like the alien, like the chest burster, kind of the parody of that with like the symbiote weird little creature coming out of the guy's chest at the end. That's kind of an Easter egg, and I'm sure there's a lot more that I missed, and maybe if I rewatch it, maybe if I even watch a YouTube video, I'll kind of pick up on some of it. It makes fun of how ridiculous these sci-fi ideas are, but never kind of in a hateful way. It's just like, this is dumb, but that's how it has to be. It's a sci-fi, we love it anyway. I think that's exactly how satire should be. There's a lot of movies that seem like when they do satire, it's coming from very malicious, coming from very political point of views, and that's not the case here at all. And getting into Rick Moranis as Dark Helmet, I think he is like the highlight character, easily the best character in this entire thing. He is incredible. He's perfect. I mean, you look at him, he's got these goofy ass looking glasses, he has a goofy ass looking face. Like, even when you see him outside of comedy, you see him in Ghostbusters, and you see him in some of these other franchises, you look at him like, yeah, that is a comedy icon. Like, he can fit his way into some of these franchises, and he's overly dramatic about shit, very good at acting, he's hilarious, he's a complete idiot. Like, him flipping his helmet up and down, like he's acting like a child, and when they like stop the ship after going ludicrous speed, which is fucking funny as well, he runs his ass into the fucking wall, and all just the physical comedy that comes with him. I think he is awesome. He carries a lot of the comedy. He is a legend. I think he is very overlooked, especially for the 80s. Shout out to Rick Moranis. And the humor style works here somehow. We've watched movies like The Naked Gun and shit like that, but it's similar. I mean, it's goofy, it's slapstick, it's kind of cringe on purpose, that type of comedy. I liked it way more than I expected. Going into this film, like, I watched it with my dad because I'm back home now, as you can see in the background. I watched it with my dad. He's like, you're probably not gonna like this, but at the time, this was the shit for comedy. This was the shit in the 80s. I think my dad was probably about 8 or 9 years old when this movie came out. Punk, by the way. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm surrounded by assholes. Very goofy shit. Like, not necessarily super clever, not necessarily very modernized. It is still very outdated of a film, and we'll get into some of that shit in a second as well. The never-ending spaceship and the intro with the scroll and all that stuff, that's very goofy. That's like, have to be there to really laugh at it. Ludicrous speed, even the Virgin alarm with like the female version of C-3PO, and she's like watching over Princess Leia or Princess Vespa, which is kind of fucking funny, and the other guy's Prince Valium. What the fuck? It's crazy. It's ridiculous, but it is super fun. And I actually do like the element of breaking the fourth wall. I know we watched Ferris Bueller, and that was a big element. That is very much 80s. Like, that's a classic 80s thing. That's something that like movie creators really revolutionized during that time, and this movie does such a good job at it. Like, realizing you're in a movie, like being subconscious about that. I think that's one of the best parts, and such a cool like element, and such a cool nostalgic thing to put in your movie. Watching the movie inside of the movie where they have the TV screen, they're like putting the instant cassette in, and they're like rewinding it, and all of a sudden they're like where they're at now, and they're like mirroring what they do, calling out where they are. The whole meta humor, oh my god, it works. It's fucking amazing. And even like the merchandising joke, very smart, very fun joke, because like on the surface it's fucking stupid. Like Yogurt, who is supposed to be Yoda, played by Mel Brooks, I get him confused with Mel Gibson for some dumbass reason. I don't even think they look remotely the same. I see your Schwartz is as big as his mine. Now let's talk about merchandising. That's fucking funny. The Spaceballs, the t-shirt, Spaceballs, the flamethrower, Spaceballs, the lunchbox. That's absolutely genius, because not only is it just funny and fucking ridiculous for this like guy that's supposed to be this Jedi, of course, especially knowing how big franchises became cash cows, like kind of looking at what the state of Hollywood was at that time. I think that was so fucking funny that they decided to include that here, and they included sequel jokes, the greed of some of these franchises. It's not malice, it's like all a joke, like it's a sketch basically. So I love it. There's a lot of stuff I love about this movie. Getting into the bad, you know, again, this is a movie I enjoy, so anytime I talk about the bad, it's more about acknowledgments rather than stuff I actually just like despise personally. It is a dated movie. I am very aware of that. It is almost 40 years old. Let's be real. The effects are absolutely terrible. The costumes look goofy as hell. Everything looks extremely outdated. Everything looks like the time it came out, and damn near looks like some Wizard of Oz shit, which came out in what, the fucking 50s? It's A, supposed to look like shit for a reason, and B, it's also a 40-year-old movie anyway. Some of it is charming, but some of it is bad, of course. Not every joke lands, of course. Not all of the comedy is good. I know I talked about a lot of really funny moments from this movie, but I will admit, not everything is absolutely a home run for the jokes. There are definitely moments where you're kind of sitting there, you're watching, and there is a joke that gets thrown out there. You can tell they're trying to be funny, they're trying to be witty, they're trying to be clever, and it just doesn't hit, which is fine. I think a lot of the stuff here as well is just fine. It's fine. Maybe I should have put it in the okay. Again, I have to have these 3 sections. There are movies that are like absolutely perfect to me, damn near, that I say like, okay, there's nothing bad about this, but it is hit or miss at times, and this is stuff critically that people are talking about, and I don't like to follow the critics. I don't like to go on Rotten Tomatoes, oh, let's see what these people think, let me just have that as my score. No, because I think at the end of the day, what you guys are going to see in the review section is me rating this a lot higher than a lot of people would. So that's kind of all I have to say for the bad. Getting into the okay, I mean, anytime we talk about comedy films and we talk about the plot, it most likely goes into the okay or bad. There's not a lot of comedies that have super interesting concepts that kind of flip the script or anything like that, try to reinvent stuff. I use that word a lot when I talk about comedies. We're not reinventing the wheel with our script. We're not making a whole different concept. Matter of fact, this movie is literally a rip-off of those 3 franchises that I've been mentioning throughout the entire video. I mean, the plot is whatever. I mean, it's basically keep the princess protected, return her to her father, and prevent the villain, Dark Helmet, which is fucking a funny-ass name, by the way. Big-ass fucking head, too, of course, from getting to her. Super generic. I mean, it's damn near some shit you'd see out of a fucking Mario video game, like I said earlier, and I don't know if they had Mario in mind when they were constructing the story. Again, the story doesn't fucking matter, though. It's just a vehicle for jokes, and that's what a lot of these movies are. You have to have something happen in the movie. You can't just have it be funny as fuck. I mean, I guess with, like, The Big Lebowski, it was just a whole, like, confusing-ass movie, and then they made it funny, but still. Dumb? Yeah, the movie is dumb as fuck, but that is the point. So it would be kind of dumb of me to put it in the bad, because this movie is supposed to be dumb as shit. That's what a comedy is. The movie is stupid, like, really stupid. Again, borderline insulting the intelligence of the audience. I use that phrase a lot. I mean, you guys are going to start seeing all these reviews and shit. I'm going to have some stuff to say, but it knows that it's dumb. And because of that, it becomes a guilty pleasure. I think that's a really good way to kind of describe this movie to me. It's a guilty pleasure type of film. There's a lot of things in here that you shouldn't really enjoy realistically, especially from like a critical level, me being a movie reviewer, but I fucking enjoy it. I have a lot of fun with it, especially when I'm watching it with my dad. I'm starting to kind of understand shit more. It's dumb as fuck, again, but I really like it. Getting into the review, I'm gonna be honest, this is probably one of the biggest surprises of any movie we've watched recently, especially in the comedy space, because this is a movie overall that shouldn't work, but somehow does for me. I actually really like this movie. It's very dumb, it's very cheesy, it's very outdated, it's very 80s coded, but it is also creative, fun, and surprisingly clever. And the more I think about it, just the more I appreciate it. The more I'm sitting down here making this review, recording these videos, talking about it, the more I'm thinking to myself, like, damn, this is a really fun film. This isn't a masterpiece, of course. Like, this isn't a masterclass of comedy. This isn't, again, one of the best comedies of all time. Not even close to something like Anchorman or 40-Year-Old Virgin. I could go on and on. You guys know kind of like my Mount Rushmore and my top comedy films, but as a parody for what it is, as kind of this slapstick, spoofy, satirical film, it's one of the most fun ones I've seen. It's one of the best of the slapstick genre. Talk about other films like Hot Shots and Blazing Saddles, and this one blazes their saddles. So let's give it a 7.4 out of 10. Again, I just really fucking enjoyed this. I don't have a whole lot to say. Again, Mel Brooks, John Candy, Rick Moranis, and there's a couple of other pretty iconic actors and actresses that are very much in the 80s, of course, but they're in this movie. My dad was talking about them. I mean, you really go down memory lane when you watch an 80s film with your dad, don't you? But with that being said, I think that's all I have. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. As always, has been Cheesy TV going on this comedy journey. I think a week from today, literally, I do think Marty Supreme is coming to HBO Max, so I will be checking that out. Euphoria is dropping an episode every single week. This might be actually the final movie we cover before that, so we'll just have to see. The NBA playoffs will probably get in the way of stuff as well, but I'll still be dropping content.